organization, I'm gonna run some more shows, all around the country. And then, Dad's also owns a Chevy dealership, so I'm gonna go work there quite a bit.
Where at?
This is an invoice, the invoice is
Is that where your dad's place is?
Kokomo's where the Ford dealership is.
He's in the green zone.
That's the original dealership, the new dealership's in Kokomo. Just 8 properties.
Yeah, I looked through there, so the Ford dealership is there.
In Kokomo it is. Yeah, no, in Greentown it's
So
not, it's
the
in
new
Kokomo.
one is how old?
2 years. He built, the original dealership was in Kokomo, or it was in Greentown.
Right.
then. And then when he bought the franchise out in Kokomo, he built the new dealership and combined it. Mr. President, it's 7 o'clock. Good, how are you, sir? Just making sure you all like our real president.
No, listen, when you're in a room with Jason,
You don't ever want to leave.
I was just making sure one like the date and I need to figure out how that.
It's like Christmas, your birthday, wrap it.
Bud?
All right, Mr. Good.
Doing all right?
all right, it is 7:02. If everybody could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Kelly, if you could do attendance, please.
Larry Fiddler,
Present.
Greg J,
Present.
Brandon Tanker,
Here.
Bryce Howell,
Here.
Scott Stierwald.
Here.
Perfect. Are there any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
I have 2 additions, please.
Okay.
They're claims, so under the claims and transfers, it would be I and J. One is Easy Street asphalt invoice, and the other is a commercial recreation group invoice.
Anybody else? Okay, looking for a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, approval of minutes from the June 11th, 2024 meeting minutes. Is there a motion for that?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that brings us to claims and transfers.
From the general, $278,718.63.
Motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
From water, $64,188.75.
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
From wastewater, $67,838.79.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Payroll, $58,435.18.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Voice invoice number 109234, in the amount of $11,315. This is the software that we use for all of our financial and in the utility office as well. This is the annual renewal. I will let you know, Key Billing, which is the utility software used in the utility office, is very old and inefficient, and that the company has been working on revamping that, updating it, and actually making a cloud version. They hope to roll that out later on this year. I asked if we did renew with this, would we be credited if we decided to upgrade in the future, and they said yes, that they would take that into consideration.
Thank you for that information. Does anybody have any questions regarding the voice invoice?
So we talked about a couple months ago, right? We talked about software. Yeah. Motion.
Okay. Second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is utility supply invoice number 1486971 in the amount of $9,522.94.
Any questions on that invoice? There are no questions. Would somebody like to make a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Next is Water Solutions invoice number 125802 for the amount of $4,232.68.
It's chemical. Yeah. Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And then Water Solutions Unlimited invoice 125892 in the amount of $4,226.81.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We're in our own business, good Lord.
And then the two additions, Easy Street Asphalt, these are in your packet, and they're labeled late edition, so they did show up. Easy Street invoice number 200-39536 in the amount of $2,799.44.
What's that for?
It is.
Go ahead.
It's cold patch.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that used to be right under the $2,500 threshold. So when I ordered it, it was just over. So we usually go through one or two skids a year.
Yeah.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And Commercial Recreation Group invoice 3599 in the amount of $5,813.81. This is for the basketball goals. The park board approved the purchase of these. They've been received and delivered, and then this is the invoice.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hall?
You got your monthlies, as usual. We got a Lexipol, is it in the packet?
Yes.
It's in your packet. What that is that's our training site for all of our police officers to get training. It's just slightly over that budget line, so we're asking for approval to get it paid when it comes in.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Other than that, I mean, we had the 4th of July event down at the Legion. It was a really good event. The whole town showed up. A lot of the town showed up. If we can support that any way we can, that's great. It's great for the town.
Stole my water top. I wanted it to go very far.
But other than that, unless you have any questions, I don't have anything further.
Council?
I'm good.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we should definitely try to come up with something. I know, you know, the police, firemen, and everyone there from the town, but I think maybe we should come together with some type of monetary support for them next year.
This is the time to discuss that, because we're approaching the fund season of budgeting. I think that's what Kelly refers to it as. The I'm sorry, the
Did you-
deciding fund part of budget.
As long as the word fund is in budget, anywhere in a sentence with budget, yeah.
Pretty much.
Golden.
So would you decorate?
Anything else to add to that? Okay. Anything else, Adam?
No, sir.
Thank you. All right, Jason?
Well, I guess I can turn it over to Eric if you'd like him to update. He's here.
Come on now. Like a ball marker.
He'll hit on the first 3 projects.
I think you guys have the report on the projects in your packet. Just to give you an update, on the US 231 North water supply projects, as we know, phase 1, which was County Road 900 east of US 231, is complete. On phase 2, which is the I-70 crossing in the US 231 North, we now have all of the easements except 2, and they are both north of I-70. I've talked to Jason about those. I think we're getting closer on those 2, so. Once we secure those, we can get that. Once we secure those, we can get the project out to bid and maybe get it built by the end of the year, so.
The only question I have on there by the McDonald's, remember a couple months ago where there's those like 9 blocks that are discolored holding water on the retaining wall?
Oh, yeah.
They're still like that. On the retaining wall, remember I've
On
seen
the,
pictures.
you're talking the Bennington Way project.
Yes, yeah. I didn't know if we ever got anything done with that. There's just like those 9 blocks.
They're retaining water.
They're discolored. It's like they're retaining water. They don't match any of the others. And you can like, if you don't have rain for a week, you can go there, they look the same. But if you have rain, they're discolored. So I don't know if there's water getting in them or what. But there's 2 on a row and then like 8 on the top row that are.
We've not finalized that project. So.
Yeah, that's still open.
It just, when I go through there, it's an eyesore, so.
So it's when it's wet?
It's only when it's wet. Like you can go, if it doesn't rain for a week, they look all the same. But when it rains, there's like 9 blocks, you'll be able to see them.
Okay. We'll take a look at it. It's still open. We eventually need to get that closed out, but it's still open now, so.
I think you can probably go back and message. I sent him some pictures of them.
Okay.
Yeah, when it's dry, you don't even notice it. It's weird.
Okay. So anyway, on the water, once we get those easements, we can get a bid and get construction started on that. On the stormwater project, this one is, you recall, was the one that was Okra funded. We got a $600,000 Okra grant. We got a release of funds from the state on the grant on June 14th. So we got contracts signed. We actually had a pre-construction meeting with all parties yesterday. And they indicated with their schedule, they're gonna start work on August 1st and be complete by October 1st. Pretty aggressive schedule, but that's what they proposed. And it's certainly within the schedule requirements that we have in the bid documents. So. And we'll have somebody overseeing their work once they start. Then lastly, on the wastewater project, on the town's portion, some of the highlights of the work that's been completed over the last month. All of the point repairs on the sewer and manholes in the sections where we're doing lining has been completed. And the company that is doing the lining has mobilized and is starting to do some of that lining. And that should be completed in July. And on the Lieber contract, the work is focused on the 3-and-4 main that is connecting to the city system along State Road 243 is complete and installed and is being tested now. And the remaining work that they are working on within the park is on the various lift stations. They've done all the sewer lining and repairs in the park. So I've talked with Jason, as you recall, or even if you don't recall this, the contractor offered a price on this, and we had a contingency fund that was there for unforeseen conditions using the build, operate, transfer method of contracting. Things have gone well, and the contingency looks to be there for extra work. So we're going to meet with Jason and talk about exactly how much contingency is there and start developing a list of extra work within the wastewater utility that could be included, and at least start that discussion so we can kind of get a list of costs to some of those various items within the wastewater utility that could use or could be completed as part of the project. All of that's good news.
That is great news.
Kelly, they have not, the Reynolds did not submit a pay application for it yet, so there's nothing to address on that as far as the plan. I think that's it, Jason, unless there's anything else I've missed. Wastewater is still on track to be complete in November. That would be everything except anything that we might add with the contingency funds.
Jason and I talked this morning, and this is very early in the game. Did you or anyone from your team get out to the plant today?
No, but I'm gonna be there tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm going to look at something else, but I understand that,
Yeah.
so I'm going to look at that tank wall, but I'll talk to Brad and see what, with extra funds. We need to see how effective some of this lining is that we're doing as part of the base bid project, but obviously, if there's other things we need to address with some of those funds, that's something we should target for sure. So,
Thank you.
Jason, anything else you need me to address?
No, the only thing is, and I'll update you on this, I believe October 1st is when we expect we would actually start receiving waste from labor. Or at least that's what I was
Correct.
told in our last meeting, so we're hoping they will be a customer as of October 1.
Yeah. Have you gotten the draft agreement yet? Okay. We need to probably push DNR and state on that. We can talk about that when we meet. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next couple things I can get through real quick. Annexation, I'm still working on that. As a matter of fact, I just talked to Mr. Shadley, I want to address a couple things with him. So hopefully we'll have something, annexation is always a lengthy process, so. Then basketball court, as Kelly mentioned earlier, basketball goals did come in. We anticipate the contractor key at the park this month for the concrete, and hopefully we'll have a basketball court by the end of the month, provided weather cooperates. And that was a park board project where they did get money from, mostly from the Putnam County Foundation to do that project, so it'll be nice to
How are we going to notify the public? I'm assuming safety comes into mind, right? From tearing it up to replacing it. How are we going to notify the public or put up safety measures concerning keeping citizens out of this area?
The contractor will put up some.
We're tearing it up.
On the city's.
I mean, we can roll it.
Yeah, it's just that more expensive.
I think I just want to be mindful, right? And if for some reason we leave a piece of equipment out there overnight, just make sure it's secure and locked up, right?
Yeah, we should be able to get all the asphalt out there when they provide it for the
Good to say, right?
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
But we should be able to get that, and we've actually got a location to take that as well.
Okay.
So we should get ours out, and we'll make sure it's safe. But we'll only do it a day or two before the contractor is expected to be there. We will not kids keep playing at home as long as they can. I don't think we'll be down very long, just a few days.
Okay. You got anything else right now?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Well, I have a question in regard to this stormwater project. Is that referring to the stormwater project in Stardust Hills and other locations? I understood that it's within budget. And my question is, when will it get started?
Well, that's what he was just talking about, it's going to, he just had a
Beginning-
pre-construction meeting yesterday.
The beginning of August?
Beginning of August. And then in regards to that, are we still on schedule to do something with the roads after that's completed, like the pavement in the Stardust Hills?
I'll refer to you on that.
That's what Eric just said, 60 days from August the 1st.
August 1st.
60
Where's
days
my
from
calendar?
August 1st.
And Stardust Hills Property Owners Association has been notified of that as well. That schedule.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Kelly, back to you.
All the monthly reports are in your packet, and we've reached the halfway mark of the year, and everything looks pretty good, so that's there. And being halfway point of the year, it's time to start thinking about 2025 budget. So a couple things on that, in that regards. First one is I've put together a tentative schedule that meets the state's requirements for the budget. And that would put our public hearing for the budget on at our September 10th meeting. And then the adoption hearing would be at the October 8th meeting. So of course, you know, it's imperative that we have enough people here. So if either of those meetings are going to be an issue for a number of you, if you could let me know so we can reschedule that ahead of time, that would be great. And then also in keeping with that, it's kind of been the tradition to have 2 council members who would be willing to sit in on the budget talks. I believe per code, the council president should be one of them. But if there would be 2 members who would be willing to sit in and help during those budget talks, that would be great.
I suddenly have a lot more free time on my hands, so I will volunteer. Unless somebody else wants to.
All right, so we have Bryce. Anybody else? Any volunteer? Okay, I will, I'll be your second council member.
And that's all I have.
These 2 are sitting there.
Thank you, Kelly. All right, that brings us to old business, BZA appointments. First and foremost, I want to thank the individuals, citizens who reached out. It's nice going from not having anybody interested to having a small handful interested. With that being said, I would like to appoint, as this is a president appoint, Lisa Quiet to the position, to the open position of BZA. Lisa is a long-term resident in Cloverdale. She has raised her kids in the town of Cloverdale. She is a very active member in the community in a lot of aspects. So I think she would be a good fit. So as of this meeting, Kelly, I will send you her contact information via email. Jason, I'll include you on that. But yes, I am appointing Lisa Quiet to that open position of BZA. This brings us to the dump truck. Council, in your packets, you've got the reoccurring items that we have been fortunate enough to look at the past 2 meetings. And now included in that, per your request, are the 2 lease options that we had asked Kelly to get for us for this meeting. So you've got the repair, you've got a hard purchase, 3 hard purchase prices, and 2 lease options. At this time, I would like to open it up to discussion only between council members.
So I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna shut up because obviously one of the bids is from my father, so I have no dog in this fight. The only thing I will say is I think it is in the town's best interest, the lease is ignorant right now. With interest rates, the town would take a bath. We've gotta fix the truck anyway to make it worth anything. My personal opinion is we fix the truck, we use it for a year. In the upcoming budget talks, we budget to buy a new one. Whether that's any of these options, that's one thing. The lease option is flat out ignorant to even consider. But we gotta fix the truck anyway to make it worth anything. My opinion is we fix the truck, we use it for a year, we budget appropriately in the budget meetings, and we move from there. Other than that, I am out of the talks.
Appreciate the feedback. Any other council members have any general discussion?
Did we get a time frame update on repair options, how long it would be out if we decide to go with it?
So, you want me to comment on this, Jason?
I didn't hear the question.
Repair option, what's a lead time for repair?
I don't know. I'll have to check with them. I haven't talked to them in a month.
To do that kind of repair, if they get on it, it takes 3-4 days. The cap's gotta come off of it.
So I know they've been anxious to work on it.
Yeah. The cab's gotta come off of it. It takes 3 or 4 days to do that kind of repair. It depends on what they're doing.
What was the total cost of the repair?
It's like $7 grand.
No, it's 11,900 as of 3 months ago.
And that was max, that was if we needed new heads.
We're gonna have to stud the heads either way.
I'm just saying, it was 2,500 per head.
Yeah.
Was that in the 11,000 or is that on top of the 11,000?
That's Bill Lawson's looking about. I mean, that's part of the 11,000, isn't it?
It would have to be. I mean, and especially if they're studding. Most of the time, if they're gonna stud them, they're gonna replace the head anyway.
Well, he put on there, if
Needed. Okay.
so it was 2,500 per head if needed. And if that's not included in that 11,000, then we just added 5,000 to that.
I thought when they first, we can confirm, but I thought when they first did it, that was ready to drive again, was the quote. Well, you go back to, try to find the repair. It's looking
They
at
sent it to you.
540.
Blown head gasket, $5,900. If heads are needed, $2,500 each. Delete EGR, cooler to prevent future issues, $1,000.
So that's taking into account the replacement heads.
So the max price is gonna be 11,000, we could be 5,000 below that.
11,009. And again, that's dated as of the 15th of April of 2024.
I have not got updated pricing on that, or nor have I for the trucks either. Those prices can be different as well.
Well, it's probably gonna need a head,
More than likely.
and if you're gonna put one, you might as well put 2.
Especially if we're gonna use it for a year. The problem is with that truck, like the miles on it, that truck, if we fix it right like this, it'll last us 10 years. Do I think we need a new one? Absolutely. But the truck's worth nothing the way it sits. We're gonna have to fix it either way. So my opinion, like I said, my opinion would be we fix it, we use it, and we come into budget talks and budget appropriately for it. But to just throw it out the window and buy something new, release something new, I think is not a good option.
So my question would be, if we fix it, we put 11,000 into it, and we trade it next year, what's it worth?
It's worth what it's worth now running. But the problem is with it not running, it's worth maybe $1,500. So so. But I mean, you know, if we could, I mean, once we fix it like this, that truck will run until the body wears out on it. So. I just don't, the lease option, in my opinion, is terrible. But if we can find a way in the next couple of years to budget appropriately for it and fix this truck where we know for at least 5 years it's gonna be everything we need, I don't think we go spend $70,000 just on wind. That's my opinion.
Does anybody have anything else? If not, council, we need to make a
So,
decision.
I'm gonna recommend that we verify the pricing bid. If it is as it stands, at the 11.9 for the repair, max, not to exceed, then we go ahead and do the repair. If the price goes up, I think we need to put a price cap on that as to what we're gonna spend.
So why don't we just round up? 12 grand, not to exceed.
I would suggest going up a little higher.
Yeah.
I talked to him last month, where our truck is sitting at.
Yeah.
I didn't come out and say, hey, what is it? Has price gone up? I assured him that we were going to make a decision. If we want to go a little higher,
Let's go 12,000, that way we've got a little wiggle room if we need to, some unexpected expense comes in.
should we add 500 to it, say 12.5?
We need to get the truck fixed, if we
Okay.
make a decision, let's fix it with a not to exceed 12,000.
Do you want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
For the record, there was a nay,
And for the record, I'm recusing myself from that vote.
and I'm an aye to not to exceed 12.5 repair. Okay, that is passed. When, Jason, I do have a favor to ask, when you do get an updated quote, hopefully they're not watching this or listening to this, but if it stays the same at 11.9, let us know, or
That
if
better
it's,
not be in the paper.
or if it's 12.2, will you just let council know, please?
I'll call before the air gets out.
Perfect, thank you.
Can you make a phone call and have a car towed right away?
Okay, this brings us to, I'm glad that's over, for the record.
I'll put that in.
Thanks, appreciate that. New business, this goes to insurance renewal. Our second favorite time of the year. Andrew, you wanna come on up, man?
It's even worse than a dump truck.
Every time we see you, it's bad.
You have nothing but good news, though.
In my opinion, this is the easiest, most smoothest year I've ever had down here.
You're
So,
covering the difference.
but, say what?
You're covering the difference.
Oh, I could probably make it look like that really easy. And
Appreciate you.
since Brandon went off on his tangent about the safety of that hole you're gonna dig and leave unattended, like we should be able to find
Soon as
$500
we
on
can
that.
fill
So,
that up.
there we go. So, no, in all seriousness, this has been a very, very quiet year. Relatively speaking. So the town of Cloverdale has not been a big stressor. It's been quiet this year. I met with Kelly and Brandon here a few weeks back. Looks like you all have been doing the things, not happily, but you've been doing it, that we've kind of talked about. It did come into play this year. It helped a lot. I prepared Kelly and Brandon for 15% renewal increase. And we're seeing anywhere from 13 to 25 up to 30 on certain municipalities based on loss experience and age of roofs, age of buildings, a lot of factors in there, but it's not uncommon to see those increases. On top of the increases, we're seeing a lot of companies coming in and saying, we're gonna put a wind hail deductible on all your buildings. We're gonna do a minimum $25,000 deductible on all of your buildings. We do not have anything extreme like that this year, which is a really good thing. The biggest change is we did go from a $2,500 to a $5,000 property deductible. That was the biggest thing. And I told Kelly I would try not to downplay that because I do understand that is real money. That's not completely insignificant, but compared to some other things we've seen come across, I'm thinking piece of cake. I mean, honestly, I didn't even push back on that factor. I said, okay, let's give that, 3% increase that they led with down under 10, and they got it down to 9% overall increase. I was very happy with that. Keep in mind that 9% overall increase offsets the property values went up too. So on page number 2, you'll see that the total blanket limit went from 13,754,000 up to 14,800,000. So we've got an additional $1 million in property coverage on top of that too. There's some exposure changes. The auto schedules are changed throughout the year. So, that 9% really is more like 6.5, 7 when you look at the change in exposure. So nothing goofy this year, nothing completely out of line. The trainings you've been doing, I got some feedback from Kelly and Brandon. I know you've been doing them. We're going to try to do some things this year to make those more valuable. If you're going to take the time to do it, we'll try to find some topics that are more valuable and maybe not quite as boring and unproductive. So I'm going to work with them to do a little bit better job of that. So all in all, it's a good thing we were moving in the right direction. Next year, we are in a year that we can talk about taking it out to market and shotgunning it out. This will be the 3rd year in the cycle. With that being said, if they continue to be very stable and don't do anything goofy and try to get us up to that $25,000 deductible or take a 15-20% increase, we don't have to do that. By all means, we don't want to just work for the heck of working. So it's something we will probably reach out to Kelly and Brandon and the rest of you mid-spring, late spring, see how the year's going, see how losses are looking, and see where the market's at that point too. So things change.
Do you also do Clay County?
We do not do Clay County currently. That is one that we do not have right now.
I was asking because I saw a story today that they got a cyber attack.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we talked to Brandon again and Kelly again about is I promised I wouldn't push it hard again this year.
I just don't think $50,000.
And that $50,000 is misleading because it's not going to cover your exposure.
No.
Even if we wrote you a check for $50,000, there are a lot of cyber claims that have occurred and have occurred frequently. We look at Crown Equipment, what happened to them, very common. There are a lot of things that would be excluded and you wouldn't even get that $50,000. So as I explained to Kelly and Brandon, going to a true cyber product, once the event occurs, it is completely removed off of your desk and they take over. There's a team that comes in, tells you what to do, how to do it, and frankly, you don't have to worry about it. You're still stressed. You just had a cyber event, but they handle the PR. In fact, maybe follow the Crown deal. Their PR team did a pretty good job. Now, I did read some articles that frankly, they weren't quite fully protected the way they should have been, but I will never throw stones at another insurance program because it's tricky.
Think
Very
about
tricky.
that though, it's something, as a town, like I managed a John Deere dealership for 2 years. We had 24 dealerships and they'd have made 1.2 million, these hackers.
Yeah.
But we were down for a week and a half.
Yeah.
And they had every customer's, all their information.
Well, there are multiple local events that are in relation to that if it wasn't a public meeting,
Yep.
we could talk in more detail about, that have hit very, very close to home. And there are multiple businesses and institutions in our immediate area that have been affected by cyber attacks within the past 30 days
Yeah, it's,
that are covered.
All
So
it takes is one employee to click on an email.
Yeah, yeah.
And
well, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Like a guy clicked, and then after that, we had those phishing emails, You
Yeah.
clicked on it, then you had to go to school for it.
Yeah.
But, no, it's Greenmark Equipment. They own 24 John Deere dealerships. They had everything.
Yeah.
Had access to the website, Facebook, all the computers. We were down for a long time. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, when I mentioned Crown, I have no affiliation with Crown, I don't know that, but just reading in the news,
Yeah.
the things they had to jump through, it's scary. It's right here at home, so. That is an area that I think is a concern, but I've pushed it really hard the past 2 years, and, you don't want to push too hard, I understand that, so it is an exposure. It does happen, more frequently than all of us realize, it does happen, so. As always, it's something we can provide. There are steps that you all will have to take to make it affordable and to give the coverage you truly need. But it is something that I will continue to think that it needs to be explored, so.
That is something I will say in public, whether it's meetings or whatever, I think we need to explore that very, very much so. Because I've been through it, like,
Yeah.
if it happens, it's not good.
Even if what happens is covered by our policy, $50,000 isn't gonna cover.
No, agreed,
Whatever happens.
100%. But,
I mean, that's-
No, you need I mean, 50 would be better, but at the end of the day, you need $1 million to $3 million. I mean, to truly
Well,
grow.
because if you get in our system, not only do you have everybody's payroll and information, we give all their benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, we can have some of that, so. If you go ahead, we can pursue that. There's an application process. We can get a quote extremely quick based on the answers to 5 questions. I think the last time we did that, 3 of the 5 were no, so there are some steps like Google authentication, we'll have to do some of that. So any employee email, we talked about emails, I know in our meeting, how that can be a little complicated. I think council members might have their own personal email, something we can talk about offline later, but,
This would be a time to discuss it because a 9% increase is phenomenal.
So I agree, and I don't want to overstep because I've talked to Kelly behind the scenes with our current provider. It was actually just, I think, a month and a half ago when they were in town hall, bringing up the idea, how do we get all council members on the same domain, such as whatever.org, right? Because right now, it's public information, it's no one's surprised that we all have different email addresses and domains, or like usernames, like nothing matches whatsoever. So we're kind of working on that.
I'm responsible for that in the Office of Technology.
And when we met, I said that would kind of coincide if council decided to go with a policy that included cyber.
yeah.
to get, that's the thing, to get town emails is pennies on the dollar. Like, I truly can't believe we don't have it already, but
Now, see.
We're going in that direction.
yeah.
So like the devices, I see 3 of you have, are those town issued, town owned
These are,
iPads?
yep.
So there's some things we need to put on those, just,
Are they locked? Are they
There's a passcode.
now? Do they pass code?
Yeah, they have a passcode that was issued.
It's just like your phone.
yeah.
So,
So one of the simple things they'll have to do is when they log in or type in their password, it's gonna have to ping your cell phone, or something along those lines, instead of a dual login, so.
My personal opinion is we need to look into that very hard.
Yeah. Do that, so I will get the basic questionnaire down to Kelly, and we'll get started on that and come back with what we need to do to make it happen, so, okay. Umbrella limit is still a little low, again, I brought that up last year, it's $1 million, a little under the statute, so that's something that we can continue to talk about. I would always recommend 3 to 5, but that's not
It's a $1
something
million
every town
umbrella
buys.
for the whole town.
The general liability, so that goes over and above the auto and the general liability, so, pretty low. I mean, a lot of people carry that in their own personal homeowners policy, so something to think about. But again, not trying to just spend it, but
I need to say, we're moving in the right direction. To piggyback off of what you said, and to piggyback off what you said last year, Bryce, consistency is what we're looking for, and we're working towards that by doing our quarterly safety meetings with town employees in the police department. And Kelly, I can assure the public that we're doing the right things to where we can get the best rate possible, and when it does go out next year, hopefully it only gets better, you know?
yeah.
Can we get the numbers that it costs to go to $1 million, 2 or 3?
It's no problem at all. No problem at all. I can get those to you very quick. And that's something we can easily have done prior to the renewal. I mean, we can have those in the next week at the latest, so. Okay. Any questions for me?
Appreciate you, sir.
No, I appreciate you all. It's been a journey, so I'm glad we're here, so.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, and at this time, I will open it up to citizens' comments. Does anybody have anything?
I do.
Yes, sir. Come to the podium, please. State your name for the record.
Rick Baldwin. I just want to know the tracks that aren't used on Robert Weist. There's something we can do about taking them out. I mean, we're taking them out by starting by Valley Market and on Market, and they're really a nuisance.
We've worked on that for years.
We've talked to Washington DC on that, and we cannot get anywhere.
That is their property and they're not releasing it to us. It's been,
And they will not remove the tracks, so we can.
Well, why can we remove them in Market and start this?
They okay that.
they are not okaying that track. We've been trying it since I've been on council. And we've not been able to get it through.
So I will agree 100% with Larry and Greg. Perfect segue, kind of perfect timing as well. Do you want to comment on it, or do you want me to?
Go right ahead.
We are second ditch effort with CSX. They are the owner of the rails. Not necessarily gain ownership, and I don't want to speak too much here. Not necessarily gain ownership, but maybe a partnership to turn those tracks that are still there and landowners into something useful for the town. And where it does cross a road, such as the area that you're talking about, they would be non-existent if this second ditch effort comes to fruition. Again, I don't want to speak too much because we're so early in these stages, but I hear you, we all hear you, because those tracks are very, very rough.
It's been a long battle.
Yes, we're trying. If you want to add something, please be my guest.
I had communications with CSX yesterday.
There's no way that we, like the town, can seek eminent domain or anything like
I want to get your information because
When the railroads made all the rules.
I'm just curious.
They made them in a way that.
It's theirs.
Okay, I'm just curious. I've never been part of that. Yeah.
there is actually work. It is funny that you bring this issue up because just
Perfect timing.
yesterday I did finally get an email back.
And we might need citizens' feedback and assistance at some point moving forward to try to make something happen. We know there's a need, we recognize a need, it's just, like everyone said.
31 years.
Yeah.
They've been there. A train has not touched that crossing in 31 years.
Are you serious? Wow.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. If you want to send me your information, I'll get it over to Jason.
Okay.
Include your email address as well.
Okay.
Please, thank you. Perfect timing. Literally. Anybody else? No? Okay, with that being said, gavel, this meeting is adjourned. It's okay, it's okay.
It's not okay.
It was like, I was gonna go twice today anyway.